What's up guys, and welcome back to my chan. I thought I would do a story time because this is actually one of the craziest things I've ever gone through. I decided to call off things with this person and he decided to go crazy. You know how you always have like this gut instinct about somebody and something just tells you something is not right about this person. I don't know why, I just did not listen to my instincts. But anyway, onto the story. I met, what are we gonna call him? Let's call him crap. What am I gonna call him? I'll call him Brainless. I met Brainless on my birthday last year. I wasn't really looking for anybody, but I was like, okay. So this guy saw me and he was like all infatuated and everything. I was so resistant in the beginning, initially, because to be honest, I just wasn't that interested and he wasn't really my type. But I was like, you know what? They do say opposites attract, right? So my smart self was like, okay, let's just give Brainless a chance and see where this is gonna go. We exchanged numbers and he tried to take me out to dinner and I was just like, no. He kept advancing and he kept sending messages and texts and calling. Conversations were whack as hell, dry as hell, but he was still trying. But you know what? He was just so infatuated and I was like, why is this guy like so into me like that? Part of me was like, okay, you know what? Let's give him a chance. And I was like, okay, cool, fine, we can do dinner. Dinner actually went well. The weirdest thing is he came to this date with his cousin. Red flag number one. And I was just like, why are you coming to a dinner date with somebody? And he didn't even ask me to begin with initially. Being my, social, cool self, I just went with the flow and his cousin was a cool guy. So I was like, okay, I don't really mind if he's here or whatnot. He was out here doing the most, talking, trying to floss. And I hate guys who are like that, like flaunting, flossing. So he ended up traveling. And a couple days after that, he was so adamant about like making me his girlfriend. And I was just like, why? Like, why in a hurry? Where are you rushing to? What's the deal? My smart self was like, okay, cool. What do you have to lose? He had traveled and he was going to be out for like 4 weeks. And by the time he was coming, I was going to be leaving anyway. I was going to be going home. It was not going to be too much pressure. If anything, we're not going to be seeing each other much anyway. So I was like, okay, I guess you could just date him as you're still getting to know him. Worst decision ever. One thing I then got to realize about him as I was getting to know more about him is the fact that he was very secretive with his life. He didn't want to open up much. He never really used to tell me a lot of stuff. And I just felt like it was so weird. There wasn't really that friendship. And that is something that I've always thought is so important, especially if you're looking into dating somebody and being serious with this person. I came to find out he wasn't trustworthy. He was very secretive about his life, and I hated that. And he used to say how he's transparent and all that nonsense. And I was just like, do you know what transparent means? Everything about you, you pretty much don't say. If you ask him a question, he'll always summarize an answer for you in one sentence. This guy can tell you about his childhood in one sentence. Red flag number 2. But I was still like, okay, let's see where this is gonna go. So we tried the whole long distance thing. It was just so weird. I think for me, the lack of a friendship is what made it such a weird situation to be in. Things felt so technical and he was out here throwing I love you, like, I think a couple weeks after we just met, and I was just like, I don't love you. He was a random guy, but here I was dating this random guy. This was like a game of charades we kept playing from like end of December to the beginning of Feb. And he was supposed to be back end of December. We're in February now. Fast forward to February. I already even gone home, came back. I was back here now. He's still not here. So I'm just like, okay, cool. At that point, I just got to the point where we were fighting so much. Everything about him started becoming annoying with time because I started losing interest and I was just like, hey, I really don't want to be with this person anymore. And at that time, somebody else was kind of in the picture. But it's one of those things where you know whatever you're in, the situation you're in is like, it's a done deal. It's not like I was dating this other person. It was just somebody I was talking to and things were going great. And it just opened my eyes to amazing guys who are out there. And I was like, why are you settling for somebody that you're so unhappy with? February came by, then he started telling me how, I'm going to be back by this and this date. I didn't even care. I'm like, you can come back next year, February, if you want. He lied to me about some shady shit. And I was just like, why would you lie about such stuff? Like, it was such a stupid thing to lie about. And I was just like, seriously, if you can lie about that, what about your life is actually true? I started to question a lot of things and I just did not trust this person. We almost broke up, but then I kind of forgave him and I was like, okay, it's fine, I'll stay. Fast forward to the 12th, he finally comes back, and even with that, he still kind of lied to me about him being back. And I was just like, this guy, he was just full of shit. I really felt it deep down, and I was like, this is a wrap. I decided to go see him because for me, I just needed to be sure. There's absolutely nothing here. And I thought maybe it was just a distance, and once we got to see each other, things would go back to being normal. My feelings were just reassured, and I was just like, I definitely did not want to be in this relationship anymore. I'm done. I made him think everything was okay because I was like, I'm not about to put myself in a situation where this guy gets angry and I don't know what he's capable of doing. There was actually once we had a disagreement and he was like being crazy. So I was just like, just make him think everything is okay. And then once you leave, you just never have to come back. Now, I was really trying not to leave that place in a body bag. Valentine's Day came by and went. No phone call, no text, nothing. I hadn't even broken up with him at this point yet. After like 5 days, he tries to call me. Actually, he sent me a message, then I blocked him on WhatsApp. And he then tried to call me. I didn't pick up his phone calls. Then he sent me a message and he's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I really decided, I was like, you know what, I just decided I was gonna ghost him and leave it at that because I felt like he didn't even deserve an explanation and he didn't deserve a proper breakup situation. And he was like, honey, you ain't gonna ghost me, come back here. So I didn't even know he had like a foreign number. So I get a text message from a foreign number and he's like, why are you acting so childish? You're acting so immature. Why aren't you picking up my phone calls? Yada yada yada. If you're an adult, you're gonna respond to this. If not, then you can do whatever the hell you wanna do. So I just responded and decided to be like, okay, let me at least try to be civil about this and tell him, listen, I just don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I'm not happy, but I wish you the best. And that's actually exactly what I told him. So then he tries to remedy the situation, saying like, we don't need to break up. And I was just like, look, listen, I found somebody, because I was like, at that point, I really did not want to be with this guy. I thought maybe telling him there's somebody else would deter him. He went cuckoo bananas. And he was just like, oh, so there's somebody else when you've been doing shit. And he was just telling me how now I think I found like this trash of a man, and that's what is making me want to leave him. And I'd even told him how like Valentine's Day came and left and he couldn't even wish me happy Valentine's Day. And he was just like, oh, so this is just but he literally took Valentine's Day and ran with it. Valentine's Day and this new man I supposedly had, and he ran with it. I tried so hard to be civil, and I was just like, he was literally looking for me. He was trying to come at me. So I was like, okay, he wants to go there, let's go. So I just told him, listen, like, you can call him all the names you want. At the end of the day, that's not gonna change the situation. And I was like, it's not even about Valentine's Day. There was so much more to why I wanted to break up with him. That was just like a drop of water in the ocean. There was so many other reasons why I wanted to leave him. Like, we had so many issues. And he was telling me how I have been with men who date me and they don't care about me, and that is why I jumped from one man to another. First of all, this guy and I barely used to share anything about our lives. He never even knew jack shit about me. We never really used to talk much, share much about our personal lives and everything. But now all of a sudden he knows about my past relationships and the men I've dated and all these things, and I'm just like, boy, bye. And he started telling me how, like, in fact, you know what, you're a disgrace to womanhood. So I was like, this guy is trying to make this shit personal. So I was like, okay, I'm not about to let some man talk to me like that. Let's fire back. I was like, you know what, go educate yourself, work on your IQ, then you can come talk to me about being a disgrace to womanhood. I literally legit killed my brain cells being with him. We could never have an intellectual conversation. He didn't challenge me mentally, intellectually, and that was such a huge turn off for me. He kept trying to throw jabs at this supposedly new guy I had. I get a text and he's like, listen here, I can't remember exactly what, like, the terminology he used, but he called me some names and he's like, you're not even that attractive. Can you imagine? This guy actually tried to go there. I'm like, oh, I'm not attractive, but you've been with me for like 5 months, okay? And he was just telling me how, like, he was dating me because he was doing me a favor, and he was telling me how nobody wants me. and tried body shaming me. He's literally, you know those guys who you meet you at the club and they're like, hey gorgeous, hey beautiful, and you're like, nah, I'm not interested, like you're ugly anyway. That is the kind of nigga he was. You could just tell this guy was looking for anything that was going to hurt me and try and use that against me. I really got to him and I really touched a nerve, and he was just like, ooh, this little how dare she. I was actually laughing because I'm just like, I've never had a problem in the male department. You are the one who literally obsessed and came to me. He's the one who insisted on taking my number, insisted on taking me out to dinner, insisted on being my boyfriend, but yet somehow he was doing me a favor. So I sent him a message before I blocked this number and I was just like, you are probably the most shallow man I've ever met in my life. And I was just telling him, you need help. You need to go and check yourself. If you can body shame a woman and call her names and try to make her feel like she's less than what she really is, please get some help. And I was like, good riddance. And then I sent the deuces sign and blocked that number. So I'm thinking, I'm done with this guy. I'm never gonna hear from him again. Like, he's gone his way, I've gone my way. It's a wrap, we've broken up and everything. As messy as it was. Now, 2 months after breaking up, there was a day I was now on the phone with my current boyfriend. I get a phone call. So I was like, babe, just hold on a second. Like, somebody's trying to call me. It was no caller ID. I did not in a million years ever think it would be this guy, like brainless. So I answer the phone. I'm like, hello, who's this? And he's like, it's brainless. I'm like, brainless? I'm like, what do you want, brainless? He's like, no, don't be like that, because my tone changed. He's like, no, listen, I just wanted to apologize. I told him there's no way him and I can ever go back to being anything, not even like cordial with one another. Like, there's no going back from that. He tried to play it off and talk about how there was a misunderstanding because we were texting each other, and he was trying to say that I misinterpreted what he said. I'm like, there was no misinterpreting or misunderstanding anything he said. He was very clear. When you were busy calling me names, telling me how nobody wants me, how I'm not that attractive, how you were doing me a favor, where is there misunderstanding in all of that? Where? And he's like, I just wanted to tell you, I know you're an amazing woman, you're good, and I wanted you to know I'm a good person. And I was like, you're not a good person. All the stuff you said to me, the way you treated me, I tried to be civil with you when I was ending things, and you decided to be this nasty human being. And he was just like, I know, and I hope you can forgive me, la da da da. And then I just told him, listen, I have to go. And I hung up the phone. So I'm thinking, okay, we're done. Nope. I ended up traveling end of June, July. I went on holiday to the United States, and I was away for like a month. A few days being back, I remember my friend came to see me. She came to visit, and I get another phone call from a random number I don't know. So I ended up picking it up because I'm like, maybe it's somebody who has my number, like a friend, or they lost the phone. Like, you never know who is calling. So I pick it up to find out who it is, and it is brainless once again. He was out here telling me how he's been trying to call me, but my phone calls weren't going through, and I'm just like, why? Why are you still trying to call me? Like, what do you want from me? You need to stop. So my friend was even getting agitated. She's like, you need to stop calling me. She's crazy. Then he was just saying how like, no, I was just trying to check up on you, see how you're doing. I'm like, you need to stop doing that. Nobody asked you to check up on me. I want nothing to do with you. Like, just stop it. I kept telling him, like, you just need to move on with your life. I'm moving with mine. You need to move on with yours. If there was a time and place for me and you to ever be friends, you closed that window. You closed that chapter. There was no way in hell him and I were ever going to be cordial with each other or be friends. That was never going to happen. So yeah, I kind of made that clear to him, and he still hasn't called, but that was like a month ago. So he's crazy. Who knows? Maybe in another month he'll try calling me. I don't know. But yeah, so that was the messiest breakup I've ever gone through. Word of advice to everybody out there when it comes to dating: never, ever date somebody you don't know yet. People will always give you the best version of themselves, but they will never really show you the true colors till you really get to know who they are. But yeah, so that was my story, guys. I will definitely be doing more story times with time. I will see y'all, or rather y'all will see me in my next video. Mwah.